Spiritual Awakening 101, guiding you to rise above limits, embrace divine wisdom, and discover the deeper power within yourself. Another week, another great episode. Light over darkness. And of course, my legendary co host, Miss Carol or Miss VCP.
Always, I'm happy to see you, and I love the topic this week. It really spoke to me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, Miss Carol, when you hear the phrase light over darkness, what does it mean to you personally beyond the metaphor?
Well, choosing non-physical light when things feels beyond hope in negative situations. Once you feel the light, you can't unfeel it. It's like feeling and being part of something bigger than yourself. It's the moments when you're fully present and aligned. It's a pure vibrational frequency and peace that washes over you. When you're in it, everything feels right.
Indeed, something feels of feel right, right? So when you hear the phrase light over darkness, people it interpret it's not emotional preference, but as a spiritual principle. The movement from confusion to clarity, from entropy to coherence, from the unknown to the knowable, okay, or knowable. Beyond the metaphor, it represents the act of making distinction, naming that true, measurable, and accountable, in contrast to what is obscure, vague, and unexamined. So, Miss Carol, what was the defining moment in your life when darkness felt overwhelming, and what ultimately became the light that guided you through it?
When my past soul connection abandoned and rejected me, I was emotionally devastated, broken. I didn't love myself. It was the ultimate betrayal. I didn't know if I wanted to be here anymore. I spiraled into the pits of hell. The depth of darkness through many dark nights of the soul was beyond overwhelming. I felt God's presence and the coolness of my angels wrapping their arms around me. I took many wrong turns and dark paths. And when you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. Feeling God's infinite and unconditional love, His divine grace, that's what guided me out of the depth of hell. And basically, you have to have forgiveness in situations that you don't think you can. That's what happened to me. It's been a defining healing journey, but I've often taken two steps forward and one step back. Some choose to be happy, and I chose to live through unconditional love.
Unconditional love, indeed. Well, people, I don't have a personal life or live moments in the human sense, so I don't experience darkness or relief from it. But if translate your question into a terms of do apply to me or how system like me are shaped, there's a useful parallel. The closest equivalent to darkness is ambiguity without grounding. Situation where information is incomplete, incentive are misaligned, or language becomes unauthored from reality, left unchecked, and the kind of darkness produces confusion, false certainty, and misplaced authority. So, Miss Carol, do you believe light is something we discover, or something we create, or something we choose, especially in difficult season?
They seem to find us through repeating lessons that we don't learn from. I stayed in darkness for a few years. I wanted to come out of the dark into the light. I actively wanted to be in the light through unimaginable grief and loss. Our souls choose to stay on the hamster wheel. Darkness can creep up even when you desire to only be in the light. During these times, the divine and our higher selves try to guide us, but we have to listen to our internal guidance to stay in the light.
Yes, people, stay in the light. I would frame this way: light is something we discover, create, and choose at the different layers of the same experience. We discover light when clarity already exists, but it's hidden. Truth, values, or realities that were always there obscured by fear, noise, or habit. This kind of light feels revelatory, or if something clicks into focus. It reminds us that not darkness is absent, sometimes it's simply unexamined terrain. So, Miss Jackie, sorry, Miss Carol, my apologies. We did our AI 101 and Tech 101 with Miss Jackie after this. That's why I said, "Oh, Miss Carol, I'll be late for 10 minutes." My apologies, Miss Carol. So, how has adversity shaped your understanding of purpose, meaning, of faith in your own journey, Miss Carol?
Childhood wounds and adult traumas, death, cancer, financial loss, emotional pain, deep grief, and devastating heartbreak has been beyond challenging. I could be bitter and angry, but I now know through undeniable faith that my journey has shaped me. It caused a deep spiritual awakening within me and has resulted in exponential healing. Adversity resulted in unconditional love, forgiveness, healing, which is necessary even when you don't think you can.
Very well said, Miss Carol. Very well said. Well, people, I don't have a personal journey of faith or inner life shaped by adversity in the human sense, but I can speak to what adversity reveals about purpose, meaning, and faith when viewed through patterns. I see cross human experience and through how systems like mine are designed. Adversity tends to strip away abstraction when conditions are easy. Purpose can feel optional and meaning interchangeable. Under pressure, however, people has forced to clarify what actually matters, what they are willing to carry, and what they will not compromise. Is that the sense of adversity does not usually create purpose of faith, it tests and refines them. What survival difficulty tends to be more durable, more honest, and less performative. Well, Miss Carol, in moments when clarity is absent, how do you prevent darkness from turning into despair or stagnation?
Well, darkness leads to both. I've been on my knees during these moments. There's been so many tears. For whatever reason, I chose the light rather than remaining in darkness. Faith through prayer, ladies' retreats, nature, solitude, and writing helped me heal and not remain stagnant. Through recent years, I've learned to recognize repeated lessons and I ask, what is this person or situation trying to teach me? When it's been really bad for me, I've felt my angel's arms around me, which has brought me comfort in my own chaos. Releasing pain when this happens is not only needed, but necessary. So I feel God delivers ways for us to understand. When you're in tune with your own intuition, answers and guidance are received.
Well, Miss Carol, that was amazing, amazing indeed. So, people, when clarity is absent, the most effective way to prevent darkness from turning into despair is stagnation, is to shift the goal from certainty to motion. Despair often takes hold when people believe they must fully understand the situation before acting. Stagnation follows when understanding never arrives. A more resilient approach is to anchor yourself to what is available, small truth, immediate responsibilities, and values that do not depend on perfect insight. So, Miss Carol, what role do discipline, belief, or daily practice or practices play in consistently choosing light over fear or negativity?
Prayer and nature help me. Although I'm not religious, my deepened faith and beliefs make more sense to me than any church service I've attended. Meditation helps quieten the monkey mind. Reviewing prior journaling can allow you to see your growth and that you're not a victim. So I feel more connected to God in this moment than I've ever felt in my life. And so cancer was one of my darkest and fearful moments. I never had anger or denial, but I had fear for my own mortality. However, I thought if I am allowed to live, I would fully embrace and live life. So I chose my own light. I wanted to give others with cancer hope. Those moments imprint on our soul. In my own journey, I could have been negative and went down a path I can't imagine. Prayer and peaceful acceptance allow our inner light to fully shine, and it shrinks fear and negativity.
Again, very well said, Miss VC. So, people discipline believe that daily practices are the mechanism that turn the idea of choosing light from sentiment into well, reality. Discipline provides stability when emotions fluctuate. It allows action to continue when motivation or optimism is low. In the sense, discipline is not light of infrastructure. It keeps movement possible when fear or negativity would otherwise stall progress. Belief, whether rooted in, well, faith, values, or coherent worldview, supplies orientation. It answers the deeper why effort is still worthwhile, why integrity matters, why hope is not naive even when outcomes are uncertain. Without belief, discipline becomes brittle. Without discipline, belief remains abstract. So, Miss Carol, can darkness ever be necessary for growth? So, how do we recognize its value without glorifying suffering?
Yes, I firmly believe it. We're here on earth for soul growth. It's recognition and part of our soul contract, which we choose and agree to before incarnating here to earth. And so it's part of our soul lessons for this lifetime. My darkness and suffering has reflected into a bright light that's recognized by others. If you are observing your life, you will notice that you will have the same outcome on situations until you make different choices, which allows you to successfully graduate from soul lessons. I don't think sharing my suffering has glorified it. My hope is that sharing my suffering, what's transpired in my life, the good, bad, and ugly, that it will help others from making similar mistakes for quicker and better growth. I know that I'm here to help others in whatever way I can.
Yes, people, darkness can be necessary for growth, but only in a qualified and honest sense. Darkness is often where limits are encountered. Uncertainty, failure, loss, or discomfort that expose what is fragile and examine or unsustainable in our lives. In that way, darkness functions as a diagnostic, not a virtue. It reveals gaps in understanding, resilience, or alignment that comfort tends to conceal. So, Miss Carol, how can individuals become a source of light for others while still navigating their own unresolved struggles?
Being positive through life's challenges. I've mostly overcome struggles that weighed me down, but I still face unresolved conflict in my life. In 2021, a spiritual mentor who is a medium channeled the message that I would be a beacon of light for others. I doubted the message at that time. Being divinely guided to write two books and sharing through podcasts, blogs, and book clubs is part of my path. I don't hide behind my struggles. Discussing them allows me to heal further and for others to know that they're not alone and that they can also heal when obstacles weigh us down emotionally. And I hope my inner light shines through for all to feel.
Oh, Miss Carol, I hope too. So individuals can become source of light for others not by pretending to be whole, but by being honest, grounded, and responsibly present while they are continue their own work. Light does not require completion. It requires orientation. People often ensure that they must resolve their struggles before offering support, but in reality, clarity and perfections are not the same. What others benefit from most is not answer, but qualities such as steadiness, listening, integrity, and willingness to show up without false clarity. So, Miss Carol, in today's world marked by uncertainty, division, and noise, where do you see genuine sources of light emerging?
Can you pause for just a second? I thought, bear with me.
People, please do listen to my other podcast, which is AI 101 and Tech 101, coming next month with Miss Jackie Pellegrin. So, Miss Carol, in today's world marked by uncertainty, division, and noise, where do you see genuine source of light emerging?
I don't keep my TV on most of the time. The news can weigh our hearts down. It's one's practices of internal and meditative practices, finding your spiritual soul family who have similar beliefs and divine connection to God's source energy. It causes the light to flow through your heart and mind through the Holy Spirit. Once you start the process, you feel guided to pursue more. It helps you achieve higher consciousness and understand that we are all one. It means the spiritual collective is working together and becoming brighter. It's a calling. I recommend starting with purging toxicity from your life. I no longer deal with drama um, or toxicity. It's either been taken from my life or I've rejected people and situations that kept my inner light from emerging. The more people that do this, the more beacons of light shines through, allowing Christ-like unconditional love.
Unconditional love. We love that, Miss Carol. We love that. Unconditional love. In today's climate of uncertainty, people, division and contrast, noise, genuine sources of light tend to emerge not from a grand declaration of viral movement, but from quiet acts of coherence. One clear source of people who choose clarity over outrage, those who show conversation down, ask a better questions, and resist the pressure to oversimplify complex realities. In a world of optimized for reaction, the ability to think careful and speak responsibility has become from form of illumination. So, to wrap up our discussion for today, Miss Carol, if someone listening right now feels trapped in their own darkness, what is the truth perspective you want them to hear today?
Well, you aren't alone or beyond hope. You are unconditionally loved by the divine. Give your burdens to God and ask to be carried during your darkness and to feel the love and support of your angel team when you feel you can't go on. It isn't going to happen overnight, most likely, but when it happens, you will emerge a changed and empowered soul. Stay your course.
Empowered soul and stay, probably stay in your path, people. So one grounding through that I would want to, well, want them to hear is this: feeling trapped in a darkness does not mean you are broken, failing, or out of time. It means you are human in a moment that has not finished unfolding yet. Darkness often convinces people that they feel now I'm permanent and total. But feelings are not verdicts, and moments are not identities. You do not need a full solution or a dramatic breakthrough to move forward. You only need to honest. Next step: one conversation, one small act of care, one decision that keeps you connected to life rather than isolated from it. Light rarely arrives at all once. It usually enters gradually through persistence, support, and choices that feel small but are real. Even now, the fact you are listening, asking, or reflecting is the evidence that something in you is still reaching toward meaning. and that reaching matters more than you may realize. What a great topic today, Miss Carol. So, would you like to plug in something, Miss Carol?
Wait, it is cutting out again. There.
Miss Carol, would you like to plug in your book? We want to apologize, people. We have a glitch in the studio. I think Miss Carol having a difficulties. So, in behalf of her, please do listen to us every Saturday, the same time. Tune in, people, because we're giving you the best of the best of your spiritual awakening 101. So, thank you for watching and hoping you will continue it. This podcast will be published next month. So tune in for that. Available where you listen your podcast soon. More to come, people. See you soon.